Afternoon, James.
How's it? How are you?
Good and you?
I'm very well, thank you. No complaints.
Looks like I'm early today.
Well, I'm hoping you're early. Otherwise, it's going to be you and me.
Oh my goodness.
Uh, we shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was trying to work through your niche identifier the other day.
yeah.
So I got sidetracked in the middle of some of the questions, so I'm gonna have to restart it again, I think.
You should actually just be able to pick it up from where you were.
I'm trying to find that on my chat GPT, but I can't actually see it. So
So what you actually just need is you need the chat, so you don't have to click the actual
oh yeah, I
GPT
found it.
again.
I found it.
So the
I
chat,
found it.
whatever question you are up to, you just continue.
Yeah, I found it. I
So
found it.
yeah, because it's quite a lot of questions, and
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
realize I have to add a few more. There's a few that I'm missing. Um,
Oh dear.
so
Okay.
so there'll probably be about 30 when it's finished. But yeah, interesting
But it
results.
makes you think, so that's a good thing. It makes you
Yeah,
think.
it does make you think, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting the way that the results sort of pan out.
Yeah. I still need to get to that, but yeah.
So what question are you on?
I was on question 12.
Okay, so yeah, you got a bit to go.
Yeah. Have you developed any specialized expertise? So I thought it would be easy. I was like, oh, this needs a lot of thinking. So I was like, okay, I'll get back to it.
Well, it took me 5 days to build, so
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
It's,
I don't think the next one will take 5 days. I think it's just this one, but because a lot of it
yeah.
was trying to work structure and what we have to do. But yeah, a lot of thinking did actually have to go into the questions and the structure and the what, and
Mm.
quite an interesting one. Yeah. So
Afternoon.
how's it? How are you?
Hi,
Fine, thanks, and you?
Lisa.
Good, good.
Hi.
Are you guys finally having a moment to take a breath?
A little.
It's like, yeah, the New Year's, yeah. Whew. You guys are under the pump a bit towards the end of last year.
Yeah. But it's always like that. It's never not been like that.
Listen, we'll take it any time it comes. There, if it has to
Yeah.
be like that for for a month, that's okay. We'll deal with it. So, um, I I don't know if any of you heard from any of the others. No one told me they're not coming, so I'm not really sure what's up.
I don't know.
I haven't heard
see
anything
anything on the
from
chat group.
Mel, so she should be joining.
So who was that? You were saying yesterday?
No, I haven't heard anything from Melanie. Not sure if the others will join. They haven't said anything.
Yeah, we'll give them 2 minutes because
I
like
must
that's
be honest, I haven't caught up anything, so this is my first one. So if I was supposed to do something last week, I'm sorry. It was, yeah.
what do we do
It is
last year?
and it's very hot here, so my face is looking red. Please just, yeah, excuse me. I'm here.
No, that's all good. No, I had finished up the profile last week, so we just did the experience section. So I want to get into messaging, which is kind of cool, which is where I want to go, but might just be 3 of you. See if Mel's coming.
You want me to message her quickly?
Yeah, I'll give her a shout and see what's up. Let's see here.
Are you going to be in the video? Walk away quickly. Sorry.
Do you want a coffee?
Yeah, look, my husband's on DIY duty today.
I remember when COVID first started, and like I deal with professionals, right? So like accountants and financial advisors and lawyers, was very prim and proper. And like it was so funny in the beginning when everybody's trying to adapt, and then you'd see this this hand, like because obviously the kids, and then you see the kids grow. And now today it's like, okay, hang on a second. Yeah, come. It's like that's just the way the world has changed. So a little bit of DIY, we can deal with that.
We've got this damn like leaking pipe right at our front door, and with this hot weather, we get these downpours of rain. And I said, please, can you just sort it out today? Because it drips, but then it splashes and it goes right through the front door. So it's just,
Yeah.
So he's getting major brownie points for fixing my issues today.
Well, there you go. And he flexed on camera. We're good.
Ugh, I wish it was raining. Yeah, it's so hot. I'm in Grandside at the moment, and I'm not used to being so far
Okay.
inland where it's. I like living at the coast.
No, Cape Town's been hot. Yesterday as well.
Yeah, you'll see. I've moved into Lisa's zone because now Lisa's not here. So I have to keep an eye on things in the front. Her office section looks out on the front, so if we have people at the gate, then she can see them. But I normally sit in the back office and then I can't see nothing.
Okay. Are you having any joy with Mel there?
No, she hasn't replied.
All right. Let's assume something's gone haywire. Okay, so well, as we didn't do experience, let's kind of skip that. How are you guys feeling profile wise?
I think it'll make more sense to them when they see why you've done it, like in the next few steps. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure like we might even go back and revisit the first stuff if we see how all the dots are connected.
Yeah, you might. I think the profile dots are connected. So what we did wasn't actually. Sorry, I've got two groups. I'm trying to work out. No, we did it the last session of last year. That was the experience section. So I kind of left it there. It was a bit disjointed last week. So I showed everybody a GPT I built in terms of how to pick a niche, which is kind of cool. So we spoke a little bit about that. The last bit that I want to cover for the purposes of the program is just to do a little bit of messaging and maybe a little bit of how do we find the right people. So that's kind of where I want to get to. I might as well dive into it because the others will just have to catch up. So let's talk about that. Let's move this over there. So speaking of revision, so the whole thing with profile was pick a niche. So this is the thing I told you I built a GPT for, which is kind of cool. Obviously the USP, the magic message, LinkedIn headline, and we did all the graphical stuff, profile pick and banner. And we went into the about section, and we finished last session of last year with the experience. So that really, those are the 5 key sections really with the profile. I think there's 22 in total. The rest are just go through them if there's some information you have, fill them out. But these are the 5 that make the difference. So what I want to do now is, now that we've hopefully all got ourselves positioned and we've got a profile that works for us, now we're actually in quite a good space to actually start reaching out to people. And so what I want to do today, I want to talk a little bit about message strategy and process, and then I'm going to talk about just the connected message. Next week we'll talk about a little bit of follow-up, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So this bit for today. So the goal, obviously, of any of this stuff, when we're talking to people on LinkedIn, and frankly, you guys do this actually on any platform. It really works in any platform. Obviously, this is LinkedIn specific, but the principles are really the same. And for us, the goal is to book a consultation. I would say pretty much for all of us, is we need to speak to somebody to find out what they need, and then we give them a proposal and we can actually do the work. So everything that we've done up until now is driven toward this. I like to think of this certainly for the purposes of this program as a 3-step system. So the first is the connect piece. So I'm going to talk a little bit about today, where you're sending out connection messages and connecting with people. Then certain amount of people will say yes, obviously, and become first level connections. And then it's quite a good policy to send the second message. I just call that the thanks for connecting message, which is just common courtesy, or if nothing else. But it gives you an amazing opportunity to start a conversation. And because the profiles have been optimized now, if the people are actually in the market and want what it is that you're selling, either of these messages, and I'll show you more detailed statistics in just a second, tend to get quite a lot of people to start to reach out to you. So it's not just a conversation is started. They start a conversation, and you can clearly see based on that conversation that they're interested in what it is that you offer. Okay. And then the last step is to follow up. So follow up, regardless of what business you're in, always a good idea. So you want to get people to say yes, or you want to get them to say no. Maybe is a very bad answer for all of us, because a lot of times with a maybe, it's maybe for all sorts of reasons. And when it's a maybe, then you are forced to keep following up because you don't actually know. And oftentimes a maybe is because people are not sure, or because they don't want to disappoint you, or whatever. It's like, no, dude, if you're not interested, tell me, I'll stop. You save us both a whole lot of trouble. So if you tell me maybe, I take that as no, because it's very difficult. So I'm always trying to push for a yes or a no. Okay, that's, in a nutshell, that's the process that you want to go through. So remember, actually, I'm not even sure I've shared this with you in. This is the full system, right? So the first part is all about preparation. This is what we've done up until now, right? We've picked our niche and defined our ideal client. We've worked out what the big problem is and created a LinkedIn headline or a magic message around that, and we've built the profile, right? So once this piece is out the way, now we're going to get into the next piece, which is all about connecting. This is the process where we now start to really bring people into our world, and this is where we're essentially building a pipeline, starting from something that's cold but targeted, right? And we're going to warm them up, and there's always going to be a few people that are actually interested, and those are the people that we're going to book meetings with. So the first part of this is number 4 over here, is where we're now able to take this information that we've designed down here, so our ideal client, and we can use LinkedIn, either the free LinkedIn, but the paid LinkedIn is better, the Sales Navigator, to go and find these people. So currently, for most people, LinkedIn allows us to send 100 connection requests per week. Okay? That's the number that we're able to send. So we can send 100 connection requests a week. And so what we're going to do is every week we go use the LinkedIn filters, find 100 of these very people and send connection requests, preferably 20 a day, right? Then a certain percentage of those people will accept, right? When they accept your connection request, then we get the email address of our first level connections, which we find kind of cool, because what we then start to do is we actually put them into an email campaign as well. So now we're speaking to them on 2 channels, both email and we're speaking to them on LinkedIn. After that comes time to follow up, right? So follow up is quite simple. It's if it's on LinkedIn, just have a conversation, right? We can all do that. Pretend you're talking to a real person. And I say this, I suppose, half sarcastically, and it's not aimed at you. It's aimed at people out there who think that they just, you can't see them and they're online, they can say whatever they want. It's like, no, people, like the rules of engagement do not change. Like if you wouldn't say it to somebody face to face, don't say it on LinkedIn. And if you think to yourself, geez, if I sent this message to somebody, or if I received this message from somebody, would I cringe? If the answer is yes, then, well, clearly don't send the freaking message, okay? So it's just be human, just have a conversation. It's easy, it's what we do all the time. Now, inherent in this process is something quite interesting. So from number 3, right, once we've got our profile sorted, we get to number 4, we send those 100 connection requests. What happens when somebody receives a connection request, typically, is that the intelligent people, and certainly the people that will eventually become your clients, will ask the question, who is this person sending me a connection request? And the natural reaction would be to go and look at the profile, right? And that's why so much time's gone into setting it up, right? Because actually the profile is actually the thing that does the heavy lifting. All that work that we've done up until now, that does the main work here. This part that we're doing here is just to get yourself in front of the people that we think could be a good fit. So we send the connection request, they have a look. Now, a number of them, right, will go back, accept the connection request, and already start the conversation with you. And the reason they'll start the conversation invariably based on your profile is because they need what you have, or they're thinking about it. You know, there's a legitimate interest. And you'll see from the nature of the conversation that ensues that they're interested, you take the conversation further and you say, hey, why don't we have a meeting, right? Which is step 9 up there. But what also happens a lot, okay, and I guarantee it's to all of you in some instances, somebody gets the connection request, they look at it, they think, you know what? I need to speak to Lisa on Monday because I really need this, but I'm just busy now. So Monday it will be. Monday, of course, life gets in the way and nothing happens. And it gets forgotten because you get lost in that LinkedIn inbox. And that's where you need to do a follow-up, because we're all sitting with connections, right, that are interested in what we have. They just got sidetracked and then it got forgotten. So now it's incumbent upon us to put something in place to find these people, right? And that's where the rest of this automation comes in. So this is where I really like the email system. So I've got 9 emails, I think they go over a 6-week period. We know it works because we book meetings from every single one of those 9 people. Not those 9 people, those 9 emails with different people. Because some people resonate on the 2nd email, some the 5th, some the 9th, right? I don't really care, just talk to me. And when they do, then they kind of end up here. And so in a nutshell, right, that is the full system, right? I'm going to stop at number 5 here, but I'm showing you kind of what's possible. And by showing you that it's if you want to go on, then that's what you do. But the reality is that the first 5 steps is in fact the entire system, if you think about it, right? And it's the entire system because of this. So here's what we find. When we send the connection request, right, to the right people, what happens is they pop over, they have a look at the profile. And when I say the profile does the selling, we get 20% of the meetings that we book from a connection request, right? No other messaging, nothing. Never met you before. I found you the right person. I send you a connection request. I somehow end up on a meeting with you where you're interested in my service. 20% of the time. It's a lot, people, right? That's because the profile does the selling. So if they get to the profile and there's some sort of interest, then it starts, right? Now, we are aware of this problem of, I kind of like that, but I'm just busy. I'll speak to you at a later stage. So what we do is we wait a bit and we send a second message, okay? As I said, we're doing 2 messages. These are the 2. The second message is our most successful message ever, right? Gets the most meetings of any message in my sequence. And it's a simple message. It's like just thanking people for connecting and telling them a little bit about yourself. It's a really simple message, right? People like it if you do it well. They go back to the profile and we book another 25 to 35, sometimes 40% of our meetings from that. So I've got 2 messages, which are the 2 we're gonna talk about. That are probably gonna get you realistically half of your meetings. The other half come from the email, right? Because this is now follow up and sequence, etc. But this is very, very, very effective. So the stuff we're doing today and next week, hugely valuable for you, right? Stacked on top of what you've already done. If you're a high achiever, then you do all this other stuff. If you're not and you just want to like legitimately, realistically book 1 to 2 meetings a week, this should do the trick for you. Okay, so that is background to everything I'm about to discuss. Let's put you guys over. Do you guys have any questions on that before I dive in? Are you good?
All good, James, for now. No issues.
All right, let's do it. So talking about the connection request. Okay, the goal obviously is to create the maximum amount of connection. So going back just to this process here, let's take you to the less intimidating screen. This one over here. Remember, when we send those connection requests, we're sending 100 connection requests a week. Okay. Now our goal when we send these 100 connection requests a week is to get as many people as possible to say yes. Okay. That's all we're trying to do, by the way, with a connection request. There's no sales or anything. It's just like say yes, accept it, so that you're a first level connection. I can get your email address. We can start a relationship and a conversation. So what you want to think about is right? They receive the connection request. They go and they look at your profile. What's the message on the profile, right? That's going to resonate with the vast majority of these people. And that's why we spend all that time building out our magic message. That's what's going to do that. So what we're trying to do is to get the maximum amount of people to accept the connection request, right? That's the whole game here. That's all we're trying to do. So when you think about this, I want to get, and the average, by the way, is probably somewhere between 30 and 60%. So if you send 100 connection requests a week, you'll get 30 to 60 people saying yes. Some of you will get more, some of you will get less. Just depends. It depends on a lot of stuff, but that's kind of average ballpark, right? So you have a choice. Let me actually show you what the choice looks like. Let's just do this. Your choice is if you go into LinkedIn, right? Actually, let's just open another. I was going to pick anything at random, so obviously I deal with financial advisors. I was going to pick the first oak because he's the first guy that came up, right? So I now have a choice. So let's say I want to connect with this dude, right? So you've got his little connecty button down here. I'll go and I'll click on it, and now I have a choice, right? If I just click this little button here, send without a note, it sends him a connection request. Right? He gets it in his in his notifications that somebody sent him a connection request, and that's fine. But we can also add a note. Okay, now this has become a little trickier than usual because LinkedIn's a dick. So what LinkedIn allows some people to do is to send a lot of these personalized messages unlimited, and you can send up to 300 characters per message. If you're relatively new and or you don't have a paid subscription like to a Sales Navigator or a premium, they become real schmucks. They're limiting this to 200 characters and I think only 10 messages, which is like, why bother? 10 messages a month. Okay, so I'm hoping you'll all be in this space, right? But you know, take the principles either way. So when I look at this, I would much rather put in a personal message as to why I want to connect with him. So think for yourselves, right? So let's go see what this looks like. People, let's do people. Okay, so if I look at this, these are all people that send me connection requests, right? And holy crap, people, what's wrong with you? Not one of them has sent me a. No one has sent me a message. How's that? Not one person has sent me a message. So all of them have gone, yeah. And they've just clicked this button, send without a note. Okay. So when I go and check, this is what I get. So now have a look at this. Let's just take this first person. So Comino over here, look what I'm seeing. I'm seeing obviously her name, I'm seeing a profile pic, and I'm seeing marketing specialists at business partners, etc., etc. Right? Guess what this is? All right, this is her magic message or her LinkedIn headline. So now you understand why we spend so much time doing this, because when you send connection requests and all over, this is what they see. So she hasn't even sent me a note. Now I'm making a decision and I'm busy now. I've got lots of shit to do on LinkedIn. Now I got to see, am I going to accept her connection request or not? Okay, so all I've got to go with, because there's no message, is name, profile, marketing specialist, and business partners limited, the entrepreneurs financier. Okay. In my world, that might be okay, but probably not. Probably I'm going to open and then we're going to go and look and the game is on. But imagine she'd sent me a message where there was something very specific and there was a really good reason for me to connect. I'd probably just connect. I'd probably still look, but I would accept that connection request. I'd be more inclined, because now what's going to happen is I've got to go look. Now I've got to work hard and I'm looking and I'm deciding, do I like it? I'm going to check the about section, etc., etc. I'm going to look at what she's posting. leading finance providers, SMEs. Yeah, so she does actually look like she fits my CP. That's quite good. Okay, so I'm happy with that, right? But that's the process. Let's find somebody else. Empowering contractors to protect, grow, and transform their business. Like, my reality is probably not, but he does follow me and he's inviting me to connect. Okay, let's see. But I don't know why he's wanting to connect. Remember, I deal with accountants and financial advisors. You know, at least there's financier. Yeah, contractors, don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go look, as one does, right? But now I've got to. But already my mindset is not sure. Okay, then I do see he's at Cornerstone well, so now I understand, right? But this was cock. This is the terrible headline based on the fact that he works there. You see, this is not congruent. So, sorry, I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but the point of this was to show you if somebody had actually had a message, which I don't know, it would have made such a difference. Okay, so that being said, I think it is ideal when you are connecting to create the connection message. If you can't because LinkedIn only gives you 10 a month, well, then fine, then you click the button and you send. But if you can, the question now becomes, right, what to put in that message. Because if you put a bunch of horseshit in that message, I'm still not going to accept it. Right? You have to actually be very careful when you write a message. So I'll give you some statistics because some of you might have this question where somebody says to you, no, it's been proven that if you don't put a note and you just send a message, that you get more people to accept your connection request than if you don't. When people tell you it's proven, maybe it's proven, and it's proven in specific circumstances. So if you're a salesperson and everything about you screams, I'm going to sell the crap out of you, yeah, then that works. If you're somebody else and you've put some effort in and you're explaining how you help, it's actually better to let people know what it is that you do. But that's not the stat that matters. The stat that matters is, okay, that's fine. Once we've connected and now we start to follow up, if we've sent a note versus if we haven't, right? What sort of effect does that have on the people that book meetings with us and engage, right? It's a factor of 7 is the number. So it's a good idea to do some personalization is what I'm telling you. You don't have to, but if you can, you should, not for the first message, but for subsequent messages. So if we're gonna personalize, the question now is, okay, that's great. What do we say? Now there's 2 ways to do this, right? So if you have a huge market like I do, accountants and financial advisors, I can be less specific, less personalization, because like if I screw something up, well, guess what? There's another 20 tomorrow and 20 the day after that. It's not the end of the world, right? But if you've got a specific market that you are targeting, because you've niched down quite far, or that particular market is quite small, where every connection counts, right? That's a very different scenario. Then you don't want to be too gung-ho, right? You want to do things a little bit differently. So I'll give you a classic example in my own case. Dealing with financial advisors, right? I send 40 connection requests a day. Okay, so LinkedIn lets some people do 100, lets others do 200. If you earn the right, you can do 200. So I can do 200. Most people can do 100. So I send 40 connection requests a day to financial advisors around the world. Okay, last year I spent a lot of time doing that in South Africa, and so when I go on and I'm checking and I'm deciding who I want to send to, every now and again I find a financial advisor who is in business development. They're a franchise owner, they're a branch manager, they're managing a sales team of financial advisors. That group of people is very different to the rest of them, because the rest of them I have to sell them one-on-one. The guys that are running a team, I can sell them for the team, right? So what I did was, I'm still in the process of building a campaign out for them, is I've just collected them, I put them on a separate list. Okay, now when I look at this degree of personalization, for the 40 a day, they get huge market, less personalization, right? These guys are getting every single person counts, different ball game. Let's have a look at what that means. Okay, sorry, I'll do that in a second. Let's give you a couple more rules here. So first thing, don't put links in your connection requests. Firstly, LinkedIn frowns upon it, and they also don't hyperlink them in the first message. And technically, it's against terms of service. The real reason you don't want to do it is because you don't have space. Okay, you've got more important things to do. But just even if you're thinking about it, don't do it, right? Don't put your contact information in either. Okay, waste the space. You want them to go to the profile. That's the point. Right? Don't waste it there. And don't give no pictures, nothing free, nothing paid, right? This is the only job is to accept the connection request. Okay. So imagine, think of this scenario, right? Like let's say, for example, that we're going to Melanie's place to watch the rugby, right? We're going to watch us the Springboks play the All Blacks. And so I walk in there, and Lisa's in the kitchen, she's making a salad, and I walk up and say, "Hey, how's it? I'm James." She says, "Hey, I'm Lisa." What do you think my next comment is going to be to Lisa? Do you think it's going to be, "Lisa, do you maybe need some help generating clients on LinkedIn"? Is that likely to be the next thing that comes out of my mouth, right? Or am I going to say something like, "Oh, how do you know Mel?" Or, "Hey, we're going to donor the All Blacks today," right? It's probably going to be one of those things, because there's a little bit of building a relationship and something to say. So it becomes really important not to screw this thing up, right? No pictures, no silly nonsense, right? We're just trying to get them to say yes. We're not buying anything at this point. So I'm going to give you two very broad templates. They're both exactly the same except for one thing. The first one we're going to talk about is what I like to call the personalized first line. So in that example of mine, that's the 300 financial advisors who are managing a sales team of sorts, right? So in that case, I cannot waste even a single one of them. So our approach is going to be to send each of those people a very personalized message, okay? A one-on-one message. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to go onto their profile, and I'm going to look for something on the profile that's going to allow me to write this message so that it doesn't come across as spammy or like I want to sell them something. It's going to show them that I looked at their profile, right? And that, in fact, the only person that message makes any sense to is the person that received it. So I don't know if I showed you earlier on. I probably did it at one point when I was talking about that concept of the red umbrella. So we've got 13, 14 million people in South Africa on LinkedIn. And I've got that picture where there's a beach with a big red umbrella. So the grains of sand represent the 14 million people. I want you to be the red umbrella. Same sort of concept here is go onto their profile. Most people have got a red umbrella. Go find it and tell them you found it. Right? That's how you start a conversation with people, and you don't look like a jerk. So when you go onto their profile, what you're wanting to do is you want to give them a reason to connect, right? And so think back to that scenario with, "Hey, how do you know Mel?" Right? There was something in common, or at least there was an icebreaker of sorts, so that I could start a conversation. And so it kind of goes in this order. This is how I suggest you do it. So you are going to be on the profile, so start there. Now, the benefit of all of you going through this process and understanding what a good profile consists of now pays you back in spades, because now you have the ability to look at somebody else's profile and within a nanosecond to know whether this profile is good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, you know what to look for, you know what goes into the different sections, you know where to find stuff. So this is going to speed up, even though you're not aware of this, we're going to actually speed up your efficiency and your productivity when you are actually going through this process and deciding who you want to connect with. So you start on the profile and you look at all the stuff we did before, right? Look at the banner, look at the headline, look at the about section, look at the experience section. Is there anything in there you can use? If no, okay, now you must go one step deeper. Now you must look at their posts, preferably stuff they posted rather than stuff they reposted. What are they posting about? Is there a particular post that you can reference? I promise you, very few people post on LinkedIn, and many of them that do don't get a lot of engagement. When somebody sends you a message saying, "I saw your post and I liked it," like they already like you. Okay, not if you do that in a spammy kind of way, but if you give a legitimate, sincere compliment and it comes across as such, people love that, right? So we look at their posts, see if there's something we can say there. If not, now we move over to the company page on LinkedIn. Okay, are there clues there? No, there are no clues. Okay, let's go to their website. Ah, shit, no clues there. Let's Google. Right, now you're making me work really hard. I've got to want to speak to you really badly. But this is the process, right? To get to those people, right? And if they're valuable enough, it's worth it. So let's have a look at what goes on here. So I say, hi, David. Now, this happened to me. Doing this process, I open this guy's profile, it's a financial advisor. He's got a post, he's got this big beaming smile with him and his significant other, and he's holding a trophy, and he says, I am pleased to announce that I'm the 2-time winner of this special super duper XYZ award. Okay, now I go and I say, okay, well, that's his red umbrella, right? He posted it, he's smiling, he says, I've won the award. That's his red umbrella. He's telling me, please notice this. So I do. Okay, now I want to give him a compliment, but I can't give him a disingenuous one. Like if I say, hey, David, geez, well done. You must be the most awesome financial advisor. And, you know, having won the award twice, it's like, yeah, what do you want? Like, I don't really know you. That doesn't make sense. You know, you've got to be really careful in terms of what you're saying. But if I say to him, hey, congratulations on becoming a 2-time winner. Congratulations is kind of a compliment, right? It's a very neutral compliment. And really all I'm saying is, I saw your red umbrella, I noticed. Okay, that's all I did. I didn't make a big song and dance, but I noticed. So he knows, right, that I was on his profile, and I noticed the thing that's most important to him, certainly as of yesterday when he posted it. Okay, and so I comment on it. So already he likes me. And then the next part of this is now I've got to show him why I'm valuable. Okay, so why should he accept this connection request? He likes me, but I still haven't given him a reason. Okay, so now I need to give him a reason as to why I'm going to be valuable in his world, because everybody anywhere, on LinkedIn and otherwise, like it's always okay. Well, what's in it for me? So think about yourselves, right? You receive a connection request, and I went through 1 or 2 examples to kind of preempt this just now. So you look at it and you think to yourself, well, is this person valuable to me, either now or in the future? If you see value, you'll accept the connection request. If no, you won't, right? So that's what's happening here. We're going to try to show them some value, and then we just have a bit of a call to action. Remember, always call to action. Tell them what you want them to do, and then sign off. So the one that I use in my own business is I've got accounts and financial advisors, and I know they want to network with each other, right? So I just say to them, hey, I've got this big network of accountants and financial advisors. That would be great if you would join. And inherent in there is I know, because I know my market, I know that accountants want to network with financial advisors and vice versa. So I just say, hey, we've got this network. We talk about client acquisition. So I've put a little bit about me in there, but a lot of it is them wanting to network with each other, and let's connect, right? That's all I'm saying. Not I've got this super duper system. Do you need 2 new clients? No, that comes later. Let's connect. So very simple, right? This is the hardest part, is finding the red umbrella and starting the conversation based on it. That's it. That's the whole gig. Okay. The reason this is hard is because it takes time. Even if what I just showed you takes you 3 minutes, if you do 20 a day to make you 100 a week, that's an hour a day minimum. So this is probably an hour to an hour and a half exercise a day to do properly under normal circumstances. Okay. So should you do it? The answer is, if you can, yes. However, I know that most of us can't. I'm sending 40 connection requests a day. I promise you I'm not doing that. Not even close, right? So what's the solution? Okay. The solution is slightly different. Okay. The solution is that now what we want to be able to do is very similar, right? So this is the same template, only the second piece that differs. This just gets a lot easier. So when you get onto LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, and like I had a choice as to whether I was going to do messaging first and then that, I just chose this because it seemed the most logical, but we need to do them both, and then this will make a lot more sense. But when you go onto LinkedIn or Sales Navigator to decide who you're going to send the message to, right, you're going to use the filters. So let's say that well, let me show you in fact in this example. So what you want to do is you want to find common ground, okay, based on the filters that you have used. So remember when I first started, one of the very first sessions, and I said to you, what's a niche? And I probably said it a million times, it's a group of people with a similar set of characteristics, right, that your product or service is going to be the ideal solution to. Okay, this is now where this comes back into play, right? Because when you take the filters and you start to select, you know a lot about the selection of people that you've made. So what that allows you to do, because you know about them, you know about them because they've come up in the filter, and you can make some assumptions about what you put in the filters, right? You can send one message that can go through to all 40 a day, and then the message is going to seem reasonable to all of them. The trick is, because remember we're talking personalization here, the trick is to still make it somewhat personalized. Now, I don't mind if when you get a message from me, you have a look at it and you ponder for a second and you say, I wonder if a robot sent that. I don't mind that. That's okay, right? The problem is when they look at it and they say, oh my God, a robot sent that. Like if they know without question, then you've screwed up. But if they're not sure, then it's okay. Right? The game is on, because if you don't know, you can't make a definitive answer. You have to accept the connection request to find out. Right? The rest of this is exactly the same. So let's have a look at this. In this case, this was one of my clients. Some of you will find this funnier than others. Actually, you'll all find this quite funny, for this particular group on the session today. So I have an accountant who fancies himself a bit as a graphic designer. He's cock at it, but he likes it. Spends a lot of time, and he's in another life that might be what he would do. So he decides, okay, well, he'll feed his alter ego, and what he's going to do is he's going to deal with creative agencies. So we do that, right? So we go to LinkedIn, and the filters that we're using, I think we probably did this on Sales Navigator. We say, okay, give us creative agencies in South Africa with 10 employees or less that are second-degree connections. There might have been one or two other things, but fundamentally, we know that information. So I know a lot about that particular group of people. So now I can write this message here that resonates, right? So I say, in my experience, South African creative agencies with less than 10 staff tend to be some of the best in the world. That's a personal opinion. I do legitimately share that opinion. And when I write that, it's not, I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's behind. I'm not being disingenuous. There's no emotive, crazy language in there. It's just, I'm saying what I see, right? So imagine you have received this message and you are said person, and you read it. It's like creative agencies with less than 10 staff. Oh, yeah, that's me. Sorry, South African creative agencies. Yeah, that's me. Tend to do some of the best work in the world. Oh, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, I agree with you. I like you a lot already. Who are you, strange person, right? And that's really what we're trying to do. So in here again, it's kind of been an observation, but there's been a very understated compliment, right? Because I don't really know you, and I'm not pretending that I do, but I can make an observation, right? Observation is actually a great way to do all of this stuff, by the way. So if you're stuck with something, make an observation and say, let's connect. That's the cheat sheet. That's one of the cheat sheets, right? And so that's all I've done, and then the rest of this is exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. I'll ask you if that all makes sense. Do you guys have any questions on that? All right. Yes, no. Esther?
James, are you going to show us how to do the filtering?
I am, not today, but
Okay.
in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to show you how to do the
Awesome.
filtering. Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So what I am going to show you though now. Okay, who wants to? Well, let's just see where we're here. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's get rid of all these things. I'm going to do this on Sales Navigator just because I get better results for illustrating, right? We're not always going to do this, but so let's say, okay, let's use Esther. So let's use accountants. Let's use accountants, shall we? So typically, what I'm always going to do, I want to start with my geography, right? So Navigator gives you a bit more info. So I'm going to say I want to deal with South African accountants, right? So you can see here, LinkedIn tells me there's 13 million. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Perfect. I don't want all accountants, so let's go for people that are actually in the industry. So let's go for people in the accounting industry, and that should bring that down significantly. Now we're down to 190. Let's find owners or partners, shall we? Let's do that. Let's go and find, I don't know, company headcount of, yeah, let's do the small guys. Let's do self-employed 1 to 10. Let's just say, okay, so I got 1,000 results, and then my favorite filter on Sales Navigator, which you don't have on LinkedIn, is posted in the last 30 days. This shows that they're active, right? So I'm going to pick the first 3 because they were the first 3 and for no other reason. I'm going to talk you through this. So now what I want to do is let's take you back to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn we all understand and know. I just used Sales Navigator to find them. Oops. So we go to LinkedIn, right? So Mornay on LinkedIn. Now, the first thing I'm going to illustrate to you as we go through this is we're going to do the first of the options, right? Where we want to find out specifically about them and we want to be hyper targeted. Okay. So now remember, now this is where you're going to bring all of your experience into play that you had before. So we look at old Mornay, and I see his banner. So does he have a banner? Yeah, he does. Kind of a weird banner, actually. He didn't even crop it properly. That's beautiful. As an accountant, right? Like, there's no question Mornay is an accountant. He does accounting, tax, payroll, but he does tell me he's open to work. So like, if I'm wondering, not sure, is that tax shop accounts? Yeah, maybe he's a franchise owner. It's like, so why are you open to work? His franchise not going so well. I don't know, right? But that might be a good sign for me, right? Because maybe I can help him grow his franchise. Okay. But anyway, I'm looking for the red umbrella, right? I ain't found it yet. Franchise owner might be red umbrella, right? Because not all accountants who run their own practice are franchise owner. So there might be something in that. And the franchise obviously is the tax shop, right? He happens to be in Irene, and he's got posting. So he's a man that doubles in a couple of things. So maybe he's decided, to hell with accounting, I'm going to stick with posting. Okay, fine. So far, that's what I know, right? This is as good as he's given me. So not so good. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see if there's anything else that doesn't tell me much. Let's get into his about section. Right, this is generally where the gold is for most of us. So driving sustainable growth and financial management, the goal is always to navigate risk and outcome, skillfully unraveling the story behind the numbers. This is the shit accountants, right? Like, this is the crap that they put into ChatGPT and they copy and pasted. This nonsense, right? So not so good yet. And I'm being like super critical, because like I'm wanting to show you what's good and bad, and you guys did what was good, and you're going to see a lot of this. I want you to recognize it, but just take it from whence it comes, right? But this helps you to make decisions. I'm waiting for red umbrella. I haven't found anything yet. Finance skill strategy, no. Adept at spinning macro, present proficiencies in multiple pillars. Oh, this is accounting jargon 101, right? Root cause, oh, nothing. Manage the moving parts, nothing. Agile initiatives, techno babble, highly motivated by an C-suite challenge, right? Told me nothing. This is one of the worst things you've seen. Imagine you're a client and you read this, like there's nothing there to get you excited, right? I can't even write this man a connection message. This thing is so bad. There's just like, there's nothing there. All right, let's see his feature section, right? Because now I'm struggling. In fact, the first thing I would do before that, I would actually go down to his experience. Again, the best I got is a franchise owner at tax shop, and I might use that. I might have to. If I'm now feeling I have some more energy, let me go and I'll look at his featured section first. Business accountants, licenses, again, nothing, right? This is the year rapidly coming in important. This was last year. You can see it's probably just a commercial post. Nothing there. What is he posting? Does he repost? I don't know. More tax shop. This oak's told me nothing. He's a hard sell, right? So he was a terrible first example. But I'm going to have to go with franchise owner. Hey, Renee. Love the fact. Oh, I probably wouldn't say that. Just saying. Notice that you that you own the tax that you own the tax shop franchise in Irene. I was wondering though, how come you open to work? Are you looking for a new position or something else? You know, I might say something along those lines where at least I've started a conversation. It gets a little bit tricky with with not so much to say, but like that's all I got is I got to say something about the franchise. Hey, like for me, you know, I might say something about being a franchise owner and say, you know, as a chartered accountant myself, I had to walk away from my practice many years ago. I know how difficult it can be to be in practice by yourself. So I don't have to be a jerk and ask him the question. I could just say that because I know, I can see he's open to work. I know things are not going well. So if I say that, I'm kind of commiserating with him and I say, hey, let's connect. He's probably going to connect with me. Right? He's going to look at my profile and say, oh, this I can get clients. Shit, he was in a worse situation than me. Okay. You understand where this is going? Very understated. I'm not saying to him, hey, let me help you. I'm resonating with whatever I see on his profile. Okay, there's a shit example. Please, Sally, help us. Sally is the owner at FinTune Consulting. So she's got a banner, again, not much, your trusted accounting solution. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything now that's outstanding. No, nothing. Please, Sandy, don't let us down. Sandy doesn't even have an about section. No, Sandy. Experience, nothing going on. I got to look at the posts, right? Wish you a Merry Christmas. The year has come to a close. We're here for you. Okay, so you can see accountants are horrible there. Yes, like the hardest people in the world to deal with. This one is very difficult. So what am I doing now? Now I have to dig. How long has she been here? 8 months. Okay, that's what I got. So I'm going to have to talk about her being in business for 8 months. You know, how's it going? Notice you're running your own accounting practice. I know it's been quite hard in the economy. Yeah, I've experienced the same. How was last year for you? Something along those lines. Let's connect. Really hard, right? What she was? Oh, okay, head of immigration. I could talk about this also, right? Hey, see that last year you started on your own, and that you were head of immigration at Mint Accounting. Are you still doing immigration services? Let's connect. That's a very sneaky message. Okay, but she has no idea what I want. Am I actually interested in hiring her or not? You can pull that stuff sometimes. That's okay. You can do that. Okay. Right. Again, horrible. Please, Pauline, help us. Stock accounting for detailed, excellent personal tax in your business. Nope. Nothing interesting in the banner other than accounting. Okay. Thing. Accounting, payroll, etc. Yo, she's making this hard. She's featured something. Pastel payroll, HR business partner. She's a silver business partner. There's something, right, to talk about. Like not much. Let's see her post. Some apt inspiration from John Maxwell. So I might go into this, right? Because I'm not desperate at this point. Like I'm like, yes, okay. Let's see what it posts. So obviously with this post here, I'm assuming she reposted this. So a day ago, so relatively apt. Some apt inspiration from John Maxwell, leadership, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and read what she says. Small, significant daily actions build momentum over time and establish a legacy you can be proud of. Okay, so what? But I'm going to use that, right? Hey, Pauline, I love the John Maxwell post yesterday. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more with those small actions, especially as we start the new year. Hey, let's connect. It's like it's a nothing message, but at least I noticed and I've referenced it. Okay. These were hard examples. Often this is a lot easier than this. Right, let's go back here, okay, to this little exercise here. Remember, we picked a bunch of stuff. So we know they've posted on LinkedIn. We know that they're a small business. We know that the owners are partners. We know that they're in the accounting industry in South Africa, right? So now you can, depending on what it is that you're sending them, if I'm sending them client acquisition, it's different to if you're trying to sell them a website, right? But you can then make some sort of observation, kind of like we did before, about the group of people, you know, whatever that observation is. It gets a lot more difficult when you're trying to do it for one particular group, a big group of people, but it might be something along the lines of, you know, I don't know, see, you're an accountant at whatever, and you can automate all of this stuff, right? At speaking specifically about their particular business, really appreciate, you know, as a fellow accountant or whatever it is, you know, appreciate the role that accountants play in the economy. How have you found the end of last year and particularly the beginning of this year has been for you? Let's connect. I mean, it can literally be anything as simple as that. Like in my case, as I told you, the message I write is I tell them I've got a big network of accountants and financial advisors. You know, so the breaking the ice is I let them know that I'm a fellow accountant, right? And then it's like, hey, join the network. This is what we do. Connect with financial advisors. So you can see there's a little bit of value in that process. These were actually horrible examples. I wish I could have given you better. Next week we'll try. And it's just because the profiles were poor, but sometimes it's good to struggle. So that's a process that you want to go through, right? So if you go back to this, what you want to do, and perhaps I should give you some notes. Let's try that, shall we? Nelson's apologies. Oh no, that's terrible. The daughter's been admitted. Ew, that's not good. Blah, blah. Okay, so let us put, let's give you the notes for today. Okay, there you go. So the notes will look very much like this. Right, so the end of the notes is just this, is just, here are, by the way, are the common ground. These are the filters. These are the sorts of things you can build filters around and messages, right? If you attended the same university, if you worked at the same previous company, studied the same thing, you live in the same area. So local is always lekker. If you work in the same field or study, part of the same LinkedIn group, right? If they're connected to somebody else you connected to, that makes sense. If you met them before anywhere, anytime you connect, you meet someone, put them in LinkedIn, connect with them. Whether you meet them at the Q and Pick and Pay or at a conference, doesn't matter. And any other shared interests. Those are just some ideas for you. So here's homework is to kind of do this. Now you can't do all of this, so leave personalized first line. Try the second one, okay? The one that you're going to quote automate. And automation for you might be copy paste. Okay, that might be your form of automation. I'll give you a tool next week to make it a lot quicker, right? But for now, this is what you want to do. So it's high first name, then find that common ground, right, and show them why you're valuable. Try to come up with something like that. So you say, my ideal client looks like this. I'm going to go search for them using these filters. Therefore, I know this about them. I can write them a message. Hey, here's what we have in common, and this is why I think I would be valuable for you, and this is why you should connect. Okay. And Chantal's going to have to watch the replay. How's it?
How are you feeling now, Chantal?
You're still on mute.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I still thought I'm 5 minutes early. Let me log on so long. What's happening now? And then I still.
They're all going home.
But I wasn't feeling well. Hey, I thought, let me take a snooze quickly. I don't have kids to take to school during my lunch break anymore. They're all done. So I do my own thing. So I took a snooze and I woke up and I was so confused. I haven't sent my boss a message. I said, listen, I'm going to go and sleep if you phone me and I wake up confused. He's just ignore it. Sorry, you guys. I feel like such a mess.
All good. All right. Have a go at this one. I have another cheat sheet for you, which you guys already like, but I want you to bash your head first.
Cheat sheet. I've really come here late.
No, you get I'll give you cheat sheet next week. You watch the replay, do it, and then next week, come on, you'll love my cheat sheets. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you guys bright and breezy, same time, same place next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
All right, guys.
Thanks, James.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Cheers then.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.